been a while since I made a video. Back on the road here. Actually, haven't been riding the Goldwing a whole lot this year because of some problems I've been having, or well, still having, but they've gotten better. Haven't rode a whole lot this year either, as much as I wanted to. Been riding the VTX more, mainly because of my legs. Back in December, I ended up catching the old C19 from my son. A bunch of people at his work got it, and of course he caught it and he didn't know it, and we were doing some landscaping at the house at the time, and I had worked with him pretty closely that Sunday, and he didn't have any symptoms that Sunday, but Monday he started feeling bad, and anyway, he ended up getting tested. He had it, and then I got it like a day later. And I think it's mostly from working with him in the yard that day. We were moving railroad ties and stuff and cutting, and it was pretty close contact with them, and ended up getting it, which is actually, when I got it, I handled it pretty well. The first couple of days I was tired and sleeping and sore like crazy. But it really wasn't in my lungs that bad, and it got into his lungs, and he was hacking up his lungs real bad, but for me it wasn't. But I noticed the third day my fever broke, and I felt like 90% better, and so within like 4 or 5 days of having it, I felt really good, other than I noticed I was having balance issues. Especially like when I'd first get up out of bed or something and I have a hard time, or if I close my eyes I lose my balance. And I noticed my legs started feeling like concrete all the time, like they just didn't work that well. And so I ended up not putting 2 and 2 together for a while. And didn't go to the doctor or anything. Just knew I had it because of I didn't have any no smell, no taste, and but as far as like the respiratory, I didn't really have that much issue with that. I had a little bit of shortness of breath, but didn't really hit me that hard respiratory wise. I'm an avid cyclist. I've been cycling for about 10 years, and my lungs are pretty strong, my heart and all that, from doing that so much. I mean, there was years where I was cycling 150 miles a week, easy. And I mean, you know, it's like anything else, ebb and flow. Sometimes I don't cycle that much, sometimes I do. But overall, I mean, consider myself. I need actually coming out. I need to wash the motorcycle, but overall I consider myself a pretty avid cyclist. So anyway, the other thing I had, not so much, like I said, it didn't really affect my respiratory or my heart or anything, but I was fatigued all the time, like just massively fatigued. Just total chore to get out of bed. I'd take my daughter to school and come home and just sit on the couch for like 2 hours before I go and start doing the work I need to get done, and just no motivation, no will to do anything. And that went on, I mean, I still have some effects of it 6 months later, or 8 months later. But in March, I had got an infection in my foot from something unrelated, and I let it go. I kept thinking it was going to heal, and because I'm not one of those people who runs to the doctor every time something happens. And anyway, it didn't heal, and I ended up, my legs started, I was already having a lot of problems with my legs, which was the biggest problem. The fatigue and stuff was slowly getting better, but just my legs felt like concrete all the time, and just weren't functioning. I had a hard time getting up and down, stuff like that. And like I said, that's, you know, being a cyclist, my legs were like always one of the strongest parts of my body. And it was just really weird not having control of them, and just like even getting in and out of the car, sometimes I had to pick my left leg up to get it in and out of the car. Stairs were like a no-go, like it was real hard to do stairs. Anyway, the infection started spreading up my leg, and I got to the point where I couldn't ignore it anymore. Ended up 5 days in the hospital. I had a staph infection over the original infection in my foot, and spent 5 days in the hospital. It's the first time I've ever been in the hospital overnight, other than when I broke my arm in half and they had to put a plate in there. But I'm not usually, like I said, if I go to the hospital, I'm going to the emergency room. And anyway, I got out of there and was kind of riding my bike before then, trying to get my legs back, and it just wasn't going well. Like, normally if I ride my bike, I can ride my bike, 5 days in a row and not really, my legs will be sore, but there's no issues riding it. And I just had no power on the bike. The rides that I would normally do, 15 or 20 mile ride was like just, when you cycle a lot, 15 or 20 mile ride's nothing. That's just like a warm-up ride almost. I mean, I would go on 30, 40, 50 mile rides. And actually, before I went in the or maybe it was after I got out of the hospital, I think I did a 50 mile ride, and it was a big mistake for me to do that just because I was so wore out. My body was still trying to recover from all this stuff, being in the hospital, and I didn't actually mean to go on a 50 mile ride, but it just worked out that way. And anyway, that was a mistake. But before I went into the hospital, like these 10 to 15 mile rides were just completely kicking my ass, and my legs weren't recovering. I was trying to go every other day, and I was trying to speed up the process, and my legs just weren't recovering. I would say I went for a ride on Monday, and I would wait till Wednesday and go for another one. That Wednesday ride was just a nightmare. Just rides that I could do a few months earlier, no issue, just barely hanging on to get the 10 or 12 miles done. So anyway, went to the hospital, spent there 5 days, got rid of the staph infection, still having problems with my legs. It seems like late July, I kind of turned a corner. I mean, they're getting better slowly. I actually stopped riding my bike in June because it was getting, St. Louis was super, super hot, and I was already still kind of fatigued and stuff, and and I work in a garage all day with no air or anything, so it's hard to go out and ride your bike in the heat and then come home and work all day in the heat, and just wasn't, my body wasn't ready for all that. And normally I'm a very strong, durable, rugged person, so normally it wouldn't be an issue at all. But just whatever I was going through with getting the O19 and then the staph infection, all that, my body just wasn't up for all that riding. So I ended up end of July, I started noticing I was taking stairs better, my balance was better, everything seemed to be getting better. Like, I'm not 100% by no means, but there was a time there where I didn't know I was going to be able to ride the motorcycles at all. Definitely not the Gullwing, because it's so heavy and bulky, and I wasn't sure if I really wanted to ride the VTX because I don't want to drop it. If you drop the Gullwing stand or sitting at a light or something, it's not the end of the world. It's got crash bars on it and stuff. But with the VTX, I don't want to drop. It's never been dropped, and I don't want to drop it. So wasn't even sure. That's how weak my legs were. I wasn't even sure if I could handle just sitting at a stoplight and riding the bikes and stuff. And anyway, got better. I started, I guess, maybe after April, sometime in April, I started riding and noticed that I could do it, And I'm gonna pull in here and wash the bike real quick. Oh, maybe not. Yes, this one's open, it looks like. So this is kind of a crappy car wash, but I haven't washed this thing all year and I want to wash it, so it's been sitting in the garage. I have rode it this year. And actually my legs have been doing pretty good with it. sometimes it's a little sketchy, especially back when I first got out of the hospital with a passenger on or whatever. But anyway, I'll take it back up once I'm done washing it. Alright, well that didn't work out. Stupid, none of the things work in the car wash. It's like one of the worst car washes in the area. Probably the worst car wash in the area. I'm going to have to find another one. All the other ones are busy. That one's dead. I should have known better. But anyway, I had said that I was going to make some videos on doing some upgrades on the Goldwing. I wanted to put fork shields in it and timing belt and put a radio on it and just spiff it up a little bit. None of that happened because I spent the whole winter fighting my legs. It was, and I'm not trying to cry here. I'm just telling you what happened. So anyway, it took all my energy just to keep my job going, you know, do my job, because fatigue was out of the world. That and the legs. So I wasn't sure. I had no interest in doing anything, working on anything other than just whatever I had to do in the shop and then get home. But anyway, it's slowly getting better. I'm talking marginally getting better as the months go on, and it seemed like in July I kind of turned a corner a little bit, and they got better. You know, I wouldn't say they're not 100%, not even close, but I stopped riding my bike in June, early June, and I didn't ride again until last week, so the middle of August. And I noticed I was taking stairs better. I was able to walk stairs easier and stuff, which was a big Achilles heel for me, was stairs or anything, you know, inclines, hills, stuff like that. Just had a lot of problem with that in general, and noticed that was all getting better. I took my bike out last week and rode, and I was considerably stronger on it than I had been previously. I actually had power. I could power through the intersections like I needed to and stuff. So anyway, they're coming back, but it's been a slow process, and that's why I haven't been making videos. I haven't been riding the bikes that much. Been riding them here and there, nowhere near as much as I usually do, or last year especially, just because of, well, frankly, just the leg issue, and then you know, I've been pretty busy too in the garage. It's ebb and flow. Obviously, anytime you own run a business, you have ebb and flow. And lately, it's been pretty busy, so I've been pretty overwhelmed with it. So that's why I have not done anything recently with this channel or made any videos. Mainly because 99% of it's my legs. I don't know, I've never had to deal with something like this before. I've always been, I don't drink or smoke really. I mean, drink occasionally, recreational. Don't smoke, I don't do drugs, pretty healthy. And never really had to deal with something like this. Usually, you know, I'm a fast healer. I bounce back. I don't usually, if I do have an issue, I don't usually let it slow me down. You know, I had melanoma cancer about 8 or 9 years ago, and that was kind of a wake-up call for my health. And that's when I took up cycling, and I changed the way I ate, and just started paying attention to my health. Even though it was skin cancer, nothing to do with my diet or anything, it's a wake-up call. It's a very dangerous skin cancer. It's deadly. There's not really a good cure for it yet. And you know, you're 40 years old, and depending on how deep it went, you might be dying. You know, you may be, depending on the stage and all that. I mean, it wouldn't have been a good prognosis, so it's kind of a wake-up call for me, really. And it was more ways than one, because like I said, I always been a healthy, on-the-go, vibrant person. I don't, even when I had issues here and there, you know, I get injuries here and there riding ATVs or working on cars and stuff. You get injured here and there, and never let any of that stuff slow me down if I was, I would hardly ever miss work or whatever. I'd work injured, or I don't want to say a macho man, but just don't let that kind of stuff affect my life. And then you get something like that where you can't do anything about it, and just maybe reassess things. And then doing well last 8 or 9 years, and then I got the old C19, and now my legs, it's like I don't even recognize them, as far as they're just not. Like I said, you're talking about someone that cycled minimum a few thousand miles a year, if not more, and legs are very strong. And just all of a sudden I can't, it's hard to get off the couch. It's hard for under a car. It's hard to get up and down off the car. Taking stairs, almost like I had to have a railing for sure. You go to a St. Louis Blues game and you're going up those stairs and stuff. I felt like a 90-year-old man, and never had that before. I've always been strong and confident, and I'm not a clumsy person. I'm pretty coordinated, and just the whole balance thing was weird. All of it was just, and it was extremely frustrating. I'm not gonna lie, I get pretty angry about everything, just because I'm not, I wasn't used to it, and still don't really accept it. I mean, you have to accept it, but just not happy about the situation at all, and really, I've never been a depressed person or a negative person or anything, but I was probably clinically depressed there for about 3 or 4 months, because I was just so miserable with the fatigue and the legs, and then getting the staph infection, and then being in the hospital 5 days. And I've never been, I don't even deal with doctors and stuff hardly ever, so it's like going through all that and sitting there and just helpless. All I did for 5 days was just be on constant antibiotics, like huge bags of antibiotics for 5 days straight. So it's 4.5 days, I guess. So it's just, all I did was just lay around and get more and more angry about everything. So anyway, that's what's up. I'm going to try to wash this thing. It hasn't been washed this year. I've toweled it off a couple times, but I haven't really rode it that much this year. Kind of neglected it. I've been wanting to do things with it, and it just hasn't worked out with work schedules and stuff, like going on trips or whatever. We're going to actually go to the Ozarks bike rally, but my brother's having his wedding in the mountains the week before that, and I don't know if he's getting married somewhere in Tennessee, and I don't know if I can really take off work. I don't know what, how much work I'm going to have and all that far in advance, so I don't know if it's even feasible for me to go to the bike rally this year, or really, I don't know. I don't know if we'll do any traveling on the motorcycle this year. It's kind of sucks. That's the reason why I bought this bike. But when you're an adult, things happen. And, it's just not worked out that well this year. My daughter starting high school. She's already back, so it's going to be harder to go somewhere. My wife's got a decent amount of vacation time saved up, and of course with me, I can, depending on what my workload is, I can go whenever I want, but she doesn't, she goes to a private school, so we got to take her there and pick her up and all that. So I don't know if there'll be any traveling this year on the old going. I do want to go to the Ozarks, to the Leatherman store. I've had the same leather wallet for like 15 years, and it finally got messed up, so I want to get a new wallet, but I can't find anything online that I like. So I'm going to probably just ride over to the Leatherman. It's about 170 miles from the house. It's actually on the strip where they do the bike rally, but I don't know if I might go just run over there one day during the week by myself and pick one up, or maybe wait till my wife gets off and maybe just spend one night there, ride up, get the wallet, spend the night there, and then ride back. I don't know, but that's where I'm at. Been riding the VTX quite a bit. My wife got a scooter, and she's been riding that almost every day to work. I tried to get her to get a Rebel or some kind of 250 or a smaller motorcycle, or even a 500 or something, just something smaller, but she was too afraid. She used to ride my CB 550, and not a lot, but she rode it. She has a motorcycle endorsement, and because she had a Kymco 250 people for a while, or 200 people, I don't know, some kind of Kymco scooter, and you have to have a license in Missouri if it's over 50 cc, so she got her motorcycle license. And she has rode motorcycle, but she didn't want to start out back on one, even though I told her just get the Rebel or something, the 250, and she didn't want it, so she got a Yamaha Vino 125, I think it is. It's either 125 or 150. And it goes about 50, maybe 60 miles an hour on a good, if you're flat. And she's been riding every day back and forth to work, but sometimes she'll want to go ride on the weekends a little bit, and you can't really go on the highway with it or anything, so you got to take all the state routes and slower routes, and she's already kind of outgrown it. She says she wished she would have got something bigger, but I think for this year she's going to be stuck on it, because there's no point in, unless something came along that you just can't pass up, there's really no point. No, I should have went there, it's open. I thought it'd be slammed. I might go back there. So anyway, that's where we're at. Got a few videos coming up that I'm thinking, in my mind I'm working on, but that's where we're at. So hopefully I'll get some stuff out, before the end of the year, before the riding season here in Missouri, which we probably only got maybe a few months left of that, 2 or 3 months, and then it's going to be deathly cold. Which the Goldwing you can extend out a little bit more than you can on the other bikes. But even still, like I said before, when I ride a motorcycle, I want to enjoy myself, and if I can't feel my fingers and I'm cold, I'm not enjoying myself. So I'm at that age where I'm not saying, if I get caught in the rain or whatever, if it's a little cold, but I don't have anything to prove. I'm not gonna, it's purely enjoyment for me. So I've been riding all my life, and I went through a stage where I used to ride in the winter and stuff, and I couldn't even get my helmet off because I couldn't feel my fingers. So I'm familiar with that kind of riding. I just don't want to do it that much anymore. So the windshield's a little bit wet. I just washed the bike, finally found one that worked. Anyway, I'm not even real comfortable talking about my health. I'm one of those people, I never really went to the doctor, or if I did go, it's because I had something massively wrong I couldn't ignore anymore. Usually the extent of my doctor visits was visiting the emergency room. So I'm not super comfortable talking about my health anyway. It's just not, I care about my health and I do what I can to be healthy, but I just don't focus on it or talk about it a whole lot. And and I didn't, for a while there, I wasn't even sure if my legs were going to get better. I just is this how my life's going to be from now on? This is horrible. And they are getting better. They're probably 50% better now than what they were. I probably still got some more time to go before they're back where they were, but they are getting there, and I'm starting to see bigger improvements. They're marginal improvements, but they're like actual improvements instead of just it seemed like before July, yeah, they were getting better, but I really couldn't tell. And then now I'm starting to actually, I can go up these stairs with more confidence, stuff like that. So and then I learned through all this that it's a big problem with it is people have trouble with their legs or their trunk area. It can affect different parts of your body, not just your lungs. And some people have to relearn how to walk and all kinds of crazy stuff. So in that respect, I guess I'm lucky I didn't have to relearn how to walk. And maybe that's because my legs were so strong to begin with that even though I don't feel like it. Maybe that's why I dealt with it better than some other people have. I don't know. But it's definitely new territory for me to not be able to do some of the things I want to do right now just because of my legs. Just like even moving railroad ties with my son a couple months ago, I was having trouble picking them up because they were on the ground and I had to bend all the way over and my legs didn't have the power to bend back up, so I was having trouble with that. And it's just like, you know, I'm not used to that. I've always been extremely strong and confident. And to not be able to do some of the stuff you're used to doing, it's pretty depressing. So anyway, like I said, I'm not making this video for a pity party or anything. I'm just kind of telling everybody what's going on and why I haven't been filming anything. And hopefully I'll get some more videos in before the end of this year. I don't know if I'll do anything. At this point, I probably won't do much of the Goldwing that I was planning on doing. But I'll probably do some, maybe I go to a car show or something like that, maybe film some of that, and I got some other ideas for videos floating around the old noggin, so I'll probably put out hopefully a few more, at least for the end of the year. So anyway, that's where we're at with that. Thanks for watching. As always, God bless.